Hi everybody. I wanted to hop on live and I hate doing lives because it just stresses me out about talking because I'm a perfectionist. But I wanted to hop on for just a few minutes and talk about, one of the topics that I really work with in relationships, and that is sexual intimacy and sexual pleasure. It's something that I'm really sorry. My dog is like eating my foot. There she is. Yeah, but apart from my dog eating my foot, what I want to talk about is why sexual intimacy is hard. Why sexual pleasure is really difficult for a lot of people, and it's something that we struggle with, and yet, there's no obvious answer. And so for pleasure to come through our body, pleasure is like a free flow of energy. Energy is moving. Our body is relaxed. To feel real pleasure, we need to feel relaxed. And so there's this like surrender to pleasure and surrender to this free flow of sensation, of intimacy, of vulnerability. And that surrender in itself is the really hard thing to do. And it's a physical, emotional, spiritual release. It's a surrender, it's a relaxation. We have to be relaxed. And so it's what when this hi Laurie, I saw Laurie Sanders watching, and Laurie is such an expert in this topic that it made me feel like, what am I gonna say? So hi Laurie. So for us to be relaxed, that's the hard part. How do we like relax and surrender? And so much of our lives from really early childhood, we build these mechanisms, we build these channels to protect our hearts, to protect our vulnerability, to get love, to learn strategies in a way that we can like get love and not get hurt. And so this feeling of pleasure, it's really synonymous with this feeling of safety. To feel pleasure, we first have to feel really safe. And this feeling of safety, it's for a lot of people, it's a feeling that is not innate, that is not built into our systems. Because in our early childhood, which is why childhood wounding and kind of inner child work is so important, because so often our inner child does not feel safe. And so often, we do so much to try to get safety externally in a way that is controlling. And in a way that is controlling, that's always a constriction, which is again like not a relaxation. So this inner child safety. I'm sorry, my dog is not feeling really safe right now. She also wants pleasure and she also wants cuddles, and I have no option but to give her cuddles and to give her pleasure and to reassure her that she's safe. And so how do we feel safe? How do we feel safe in our bodies? How do we feel safe when opening up to another person, opening our heart, or being on the journey to open our hearts, and being in this really exposed place of vulnerability where we can get hurt? And of course, this inner child safety work, which this didn't go as planned. This is why I don't like live videos. But it's really about setting our boundaries, so learning our no's, expressing our needs, and hearing the needs of the other, and staying present. Staying present is the hardest thing to do in life in general, but especially in sexuality also, especially because so much of this, like, I'm not safe, how do I feel safe, firing in the brain takes place. So it's my dog. Maybe this video is just about my dog, I don't know. But this place of intimacy, she also wants love, she also wants care. and she didn't feel safe. She didn't feel safe when I was talking to you guys, and she really needed to become, you know, a part of this video, and to be able to relax. You know, animals are really, we can learn so much from nature. Nature is like the biggest book of learning, and, you know, the biggest university. And so when we observe nature and we observe our animals, you know, even pets, we learn so much. And so with my dog, you know, when I was talking to her and I wasn't giving her attention, she wasn't feeling safe. Her body was constricted. She was getting anxious, and she was trying to control my behavior to get her needs met, which is something that it's a trap. You know, a lot of times we do this. We try to control the other person's behavior to get our needs met, to feel loved. And this control, it's a constriction. It's a constriction in our body. And when we constrict the energetic flow through trying to control the external environment, it actually works in the opposite way, because the energy stops flowing and we don't feel pleasure. We actually feel tense. You know? So, you know, I wanted to make this film, this clip really quick, and then I got derailed by my puppy. But I just want to kind of make the link here that pleasure is related to relaxation. It's a physical and then mental and emotional, you know, and you can even take it to the soul level of relaxation. It's a receptivity. It's not a tightening. So much of our, you know, in our culture, so much of the sexual act is, as much as everything else in the world, you know, everything's the same. It's like tightening. It's like trying to force the orgasm, trying to, like, you know, thrust it in or rub it out, you know, and it's like, sure, we can have an orgasm that way, but is that really pleasurable? You know, it's kind of like a very shadow masculine approach. And you know, I've been really exploring the feminine aspect of pleasure, and for me, there's a lot of gifts in relaxation, in relaxing the body, in allowing the flow, allowing the energy to just move through you and to flow through you. But that's my dog's paw. But to be able to tap into this flow, we need to feel safe. We need to feel safe in order to not try and control the external environment. And to feel safe, you know, that really translates to the inner wounds, the inner child wounding, the very young neural networks, to feel safe. Because if we don't feel safe, you know, the part of our brain that deals with the fight or flight turns on, and then we're back into our head about, you know, does my butt look big? Is dinner gonna be ready? Like, what if the kids wake up? What if he doesn't like me? Does she like me? Does she feel pleasure? And the loop starts. So the way to come back into present is this place of safety. And the way that we get safety, the way that we feel safety, of course, in the bigger scale, we really get to know our wounds. We really understand how we get, you know, to feel unsafe, triggered, you know, that's a word. And then we work on our boundaries, on our saying no. You know, I don't feel safe. I don't feel comfortable. Not now. Can we take a pause and just look into each other's eyes? You know, these are all really good boundaries about expressing our needs for safety and creating our own safety. Then, you know, expressing our needs, what we want. You know, our partners don't know what we want. Like, we can't read our minds. You know, it's what we want. And it's actually when we learn to express our needs, it's like the sexiest thing, because people love it when they know how to give you, how to, you know, pleasure you, how to, it's so much easier. There's so much more relaxation involved if nobody's trying to play mind games. And with that, you know, there's presence. Staying present in the moment and not bringing our stories, the before or the future in. You know, my dog is still not feeling fully relaxed. And then, of course, afterwards, you know, sometimes when we really open up our heart and we open up our energy during intimacy, afterwards, we can feel really unsafe. We can be like, oh no, I did this really vulnerable thing. What's going to happen now? I better put up all of my barriers, all of my armory, you know? And so for that, and then there's like conflict. Yeah, she also thinks there's going to be conflict. And so what to do and how to like prevent that or account for that in a very intentional and conscious way, because a lot of times when we do open our hearts, it can be really scary afterwards, in the process too, but afterwards. And then, you know, after the fact, a lot of the armoring can come back like tenfold. So make sure you know what you need for aftercare, and not only know what you need, but communicate it. You know, hey, like I need some cuddle time after. I need you to follow up with a phone call tomorrow. I need to, you know, or I need to have a conversation. Whatever feels good as a way to feel safe afterwards. You know, hey, can you be accessible to me tomorrow? Express that need, yeah? And so, yeah, just pleasure, relaxation, safety is the underpinning of all of that. So I just wanted to hop on with that. And if you have any questions, or you would like to kind of explore this further, or you have specific problems that you want to get a little bit of clarity on, you know, book a free clarity call with me. I love hopping on, identifying a problem, and then seeing how we can solve it together in the work, because this is the work I do. All right, all my love.